The Natalie Holloway disappearance investigation, either on my program or other media sources, you will know that in the last 2 weeks, all hell has broken loose, for lack of a better term. Last evening, attorney Joe Tacopina came on the Greta Van Susteren show on Fox News and attacked my guest that I have on the air with me right now, Jossy Mansour, managing editor of Dario. Jossy, welcome back to my program.
Thank you. It's very nice to be on your program always.
Well, this has turned into, quite a week. Before we get into the Tacopina interview last night, I want to get your comments, if you're able to, on the lawsuit filings today that happened in California, Jossy.
Yeah, I understand that the Kalpoe brothers put in a lawsuit against Dr. Phil, Paramount, and some other people. I think that the figure they were mentioning is $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
What do these people want? Do they want to be rewarded for having done so much damage to the island?
Right.
What's going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
I find it totally unreasonable and totally unjust.
Yep, absolutely. And then the Beth Twitty and Dave Holloway and their attorney, John Q. Kelly, filed their own lawsuit.
Yeah, I understand that they did, or they're doing it tonight at some time in a program. I think it's on Fox. And that they are countersuing for involuntary murder, I believe, involuntary death, or whatever they call it, wrongful death
right.
of their daughter. So these two characters have, I don't know if it's inadvertently or on purpose, they've opened the door for this lawsuit to be placed against them.
Yeah, you have to wonder what kind of legal advice that they've been getting, but I'm glad that John Q. Kelly and the family were on top of things and were able to file their own suit, and hopefully that may bring some answers to this. But the reason I brought you on the program tonight, and I've been corresponding with you since last night when Attorney Tacopina was on the Greta Van Susteren program, and you've had a chance, I hope, to watch the video. I did send you a transcript. Jossy, what the heck's going on? What made this man come on the air last night and, in my opinion, attack you?
Because he has absolutely no arguments to defend his client with facts. So what does he do? He tries to sidetrack it, and he tries to pick a fight with me, which he's not going to be able to obtain because I don't think that we should deviate from the main issue in this case, which is the disappearance of Natalie Holloway while in the company of his client, Joran van der Sloot, and the two Kalpoe brothers. He's trying to take attention away from this, but, I think that instead of teaching Joran to tell the truth, I think Joran has influenced him to tell lies, because everything that he said on that program is a lie, an outright lie. I have never seen a lawyer that can lie so easily and attack people with such freedom while he threatens everybody with lawsuits.
A few weeks back on the lineup program, after you came on and aired the video that you have of Chief or former Chief Dompeg, he called in and had a tantrum, and I'm using that term tantrum, fit, and was basically insulting. At this time, though, when he was on the air last night, he made some allegations of your newspaper printing forged documents, that your family was exiled from Aruba by Paulus Vandersloot, a judge in training. I didn't realize they had so much power because of their drug dealing. I'd like you to address some of the allegations that Mr. Tacopina made on that Fox program last night.
But of course, he came up with this question of some family members of mine for drug dealing. I think this guy is living in the clouds. I mean, he must not be living in the U.S. He must not be aware of anything that went on in Puerto Rico or Aruba or Miami or wherever. It's completely different. But I'm not going to go into details with him on that because that's what he wants. He wants to take away attention from the main issue in this case, and that is the guilt of his client. He committed a moral crime against Natalie. That is, in all the reports that I have seen, I have them in front of me here, and I'm not going to fall for his games. These are his lawyer tricks He thinks that by threatening or calling names or whatever, he's going to intimidate. Well, he's knocking on the wrong door with me.
So you feel that he's trying to bait you into a response?
He is, but he will not get it from me. What I will do is correct his lies and ask him to please, when he goes on television, to tell the truth and to teach his clients to, for once in his life, to begin to tell the truth.
He says that I actually had to laugh at this one, but I'm sure it wasn't funny for you, but that you have a personal vendetta against the Vandersloot family, and that Paulus Vandersloot extradited your family from Aruba. Could you comment on that, or if you don't want to get into particulars, does Paulus Vandersloot, as a judge in training, even have that authority?
He's a glorified clerk. He was always a glorified clerk within the prosecution department of the Ministry of Justice here. He doesn't have that power. That power lies only with the governor of Aruba. He has to sign, according to the treaties between the U.S. and Aruba and Holland, the governor has to sign for any extradition. So he doesn't have any power. And honestly, I never knew that he was even involved in that. And I don't know Mr. Vandersloot personally. I don't know his son. I don't want to know them either after this case. But what he's saying is completely false. I have no personal vendettas against anyone.
One of the comments that came from your last interview with me, Jossy, was your discussion regarding Paulus Vandersloot having a brother in the government in the Netherlands, and I've again talked with you about this. I've been swamped with those that have come to me and say that's not true. Can we go over that part of it again just to clarify, please?
Well, we have been informed from Holland, from our sources in Holland. If our sources are wrong, then we will apologize, of course. We have no problems with that. But our sources in Holland tell us that he has a brother called Marco, who is a member of the VVD party, and the party is in government. I think he's in some kind of a committee for economic affairs, but his party also has always held, while in government, the defense and police affairs of Holland. That's as far as I can tell you about this.
Okay.
Check with sources in Holland, and they confirmed it to us.
Okay. All right. If you're just tuning in, Jossy Mansour, managing editor of Dario, is with me, and we're discussing recent events in the Holloway investigation, and it certainly has been an interesting couple of weeks. Another serious allegation that Mr. Tacopina made on the program last night was that your paper printed a forged document regarding this investigation, and I found that to be quite concerning that he would make that sort of an allegation. Can you comment on that for me?
But if he says that, and if he thinks he has any kind of proof of that, why doesn't he take us to court? Or have Antonio Carlo take us to court, or any other lawyer that he can engage for in Aruba? I mean, blah, 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 blah on the radio or on television is one thing, and going for the real thing is another. I mean, if he thinks, or if he is convinced that we forged documents that we published, he should take us to court. What I can tell you about that, though, is that 3 days after we published that, the prosecution department issued a statement confirming the validity of what was in that paper, confirming it was legitimate. But this guy doesn't know that. I don't know how he's handling this case, if it's from a remote control or what, but he'd better put himself up to date with the facts involved in this case. Because not only in that case is it totally wrong, he also said at one point that the tape that I have with Gerald Dompig was made while Joran was in jail. I mean, how far off from the truth can you be? I asked Gerald Dompig in the interview, I asked him, listen, when are you going to arrest them? In other words, if I'm asking him when are you going to arrest them, they must be free. They can't be in jail. They can't arrest them again if they're in jail.
Right.
He doesn't know the facts of this case, Dana.
Yeah, and I think the tape, as important as it is, has been misrepresented somewhat in the media because the whole tape hasn't been shown, and that part is quite clear. He also went on to say that a letter from Karen Janssen disposed the notion that there was any evidence or any comment from these boys admitting that